Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee and Chat with Hallee Bridgeman. I'm so happy you could join me this morning. I clearly don't have a cup of coffee with me. I'm taking you on a walk with my dogs this morning because the last couple of Monday mornings I have not done a video. It's come to like Monday evening and I've been like, oh, I didn't do a video today. I'm blaming it on summer. My schedule is skewed on summer and the days kind of blend together for me. And the last couple months, the days have been blending together with baseball practice and whatever, vacation Bible school. So it's just been a little bit hectic. And now the hectic is over. Friday was closing ceremonies for baseball and vacation Bible school ended. And we are now in the final preparations for the Kentucky Christian Writers Conference, which is this weekend, starting on Thursday evening, which if you're in anywhere near Kentucky, you want to come to this conference, look it up on the Kentucky Christian Conference's website because this is an amazing conference this year. And after that, it'll just be kind of like steady as we go for a couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to some study. So this week I've answered the same question twice privately to people. So I thought that'd be a good thing to address in Monday Morning Coffee and Chat, which is, would I recommend any resources or books for parenting a child with autism or a child with sensory processing disorder? And I had, to be honest with the people who asked me, I haven't read a single book on autism. And the reason is because I think, as I was trying to formulate how to talk this morning, I think the reason is because I am a blogger. You know, I blogged as Hallee the Homemaker for years and years. I started the blog, gosh, September would be 10 years ago. And I really respect the bloggers who come in with their personal journeys. And what you get when you read those kind of things is this this compilation of, if I do a search for, say, parenting autism, eating issues, and pull up a bunch of resource articles from like autism.com, research articles from different therapists and medical doctors, and then, you know, thousands of bloggers who blog as parents of autistic kids who talk about their experiences and their journeys dealing with autistic children and eating habits. And so that's how I do my research. It's not hours reading books, it's hours reading articles. And a lot of times I get the same information over and over and over again. And a lot of times I get fresh insight. And I get this gamut of information from professionals and from parents with their boots on the ground. And so that's how I research it. I have a book I'm reading that my son Scott's occupational therapist gave us that is basically navigating social life as a child, as a teenager, a preteen and a teenager with Asperger's. And so in the United States, you know, we don't have classifications of autism anymore. Medically speaking, when you're diagnosed with autism, you're either autistic with verbal or autistic without verbal. And my son has language skills, so he's autistic with verbal communication, and that's his entire classification. Well, outside of the United States, and prior to about 5 years ago, there were different names and classifications within autism, and one of them is Asperger's. And in Great Britain, they're nicknamed Aspies. And so that, if Scott was going to be given a classification other than autism, it would be Asperger's, which is that whole high functioning, capable, with a lot of training and therapy to, function in a normal life, autism. And so our occupational therapist gave me this book, but it was written by a woman with autism, married to a man with autism, and how their life looks like navigating social waters. And it's really well done, and it reads like a conversation. And so I don't find myself feeling like I'm being bogged down by one person's perspective and one person's opinion. It's actually very helpful. So, I had to pause you for a minute. So, that book I'm reading, but what it is for Scott to read. And so what I'm pre-reading it so that I can get Scott to sit down and read it, but I'll know what it says. And Greg and I can work with him on the things that this book talks about. But I have to pre-read it because I don't like handing him how to navigate social waters from a secular worldview. I'd rather make sure that I'm prepared for any questions that are going to compromise his worldview. So, but that's how my brain works, and that's why I like researching that way. It's how I research almost everything. I would rather get the opinion, and it would be like walking into a support group and asking all these moms, how do you deal with eating issues with your kid? I feel like that's what those parenting bloggers provide to me, is like this support group of information, and I'm able to specifically pinpoint what it is that I'm looking for. And, I might read 50 blog posts on the same topic, get 30 blog posts that say the same thing, 5 or 6 that I completely disagree with, and 5 or 6 that absolutely resonate with me. It doesn't. So, but I have research experience. I have skills from researching all of my books that give me the power to dig in to like scientific research studies and medical articles and stuff. And then, and I also read really fast. And so I think that's how come that kind of research really works for me. If you're looking for specific books, I would ask, like the groups, there's Facebook groups, there's millions of Facebook groups about autism, probably not millions, probably thousands, but autism, all different kinds of autism, all different kinds of perspectives on autism. And I would go into one of those groups and say, do you recommend a book? Or go into the search bar and say, do you recommend a book? And see how many people have asked the same question. But I have, honestly, the first book I'm ever read on autism is that Navigating Social Life as an Aspie. So I hope that helps someone out there. And if you have any recommendations for reading, provide them in this blog post, and maybe someone who's searching for something will be inspired by you. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next week. God bless you.